Good evening. Welcome to California Today. I'm Ling Zhang. Here is a preview of some of today's stories. The president visited California today to survey the storm damages along the coast. One of his first stops was Santa Cruz. A district attorney is charging actor Alec Baldwin for involuntary manslaughter after shooting and killing a cinematographer on set. His lawyer says they will fight the charges. And a tragic end to a vacation. An Orange County public defender was found dead during a one-year wedding anniversary in Mexico. President Biden is touring California today. He will be visiting some of the hardest hit counties in northern and central California by the recent rainstorms. His visit begins in Santa Clara County, and then he will head north to San Francisco. The trip will include at least 2 stops on the Santa Cruz coast. That's one of the areas hit the hardest by the storms. Flash floods and extreme tides have inundated low-lying communities. Biden has approved federal disaster assistance for the 3 hardest-hit counties in northern and central California. The heavy rains have helped ease the state's historic drought and replenish freshwater sources. But experts warn that much of the state remains in dry conditions. The storms that swept through California since December have eased off. New satellite images show the aftermath of some areas that were most heavily affected.
California has experienced 9 consecutive rainstorms since December 26 of last year. Satellite images obtained by Maxar Technologies show the before and after of areas hit hard by flooding. For example, the farmland images show the green crop fields drowned in brown flood water. On the coastline, debris littered the wharves and beaches now sit underwater. President Biden toured California on Thursday to meet first responders and visit towns located near the Central Coast. The president issued an emergency declaration on January 8th to provide federal aid. On January 14th, counties from Merced, Sacramento, Santa Cruz were authorized to receive disaster assistance as well. So far, the storms have claimed the lives of 20 people.
A New Mexico district attorney will be charging a Hollywood actor for involuntary manslaughter. He fatally shot a cinematographer and wounded the director on set in 2021.
A Santa Fe district attorney announced Thursday that Alec Baldwin will be charged before the end of the month for fatally shooting a cinematographer on set in 2021. The incident happened during a rehearsal of the upcoming film Rust. District Attorney Mary Carmack Altwies made the statement on social media without public appearances. She said, "After a thorough review of the evidence and the laws of the state of New Mexico, I have determined that there is sufficient evidence to file criminal charges against Alec Baldwin and other members of the Rust film crew." Cinematographer Halyna Hutchins died shortly after being wounded by a gunshot during setup for a scene at the ranch on the outskirts of Santa Fe. Baldwin was pointing a pistol at Hutchins when the gun went off, killing her and wounding the director, Joel Souza. Baldwin has sought to clear his name by suing people involved in handling and supplying the loaded gun that was handed to him on set. Baldwin, also a co-producer on Rust, said he was told the gun was safe. Baldwin and the armorer who oversaw firearms on the set, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, will each be charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter. The actor's lawyer, Luke Nikas, told the Post, "This decision distorts Halyna Hutchins' tragic death and represents a terrible miscarriage of justice, and that they will fight the charges and win." Gutierrez-Reed also denies responsibility. Her lawyer, Jason Bowles, told the Post, "Hannah is and has always been very emotional and sad about this tragic accident, but she did not commit involuntary manslaughter." Hutchins' death has influenced negotiations over safety provisions in film crew union contracts with Hollywood producers. Filmmakers are also choosing computer-generated imagery of gunfire with blank ammunition to minimize risks, rather than real weapons.
In what should have been a happy milestone getaway vacation in Mexico for a newly married couple ended up turning into a tragedy. An Orange County public defender was found dead on his one-year anniversary vacation.
An investigation is underway for Orange County Public Defender Elliot Blair's death. Blair was on vacation in Mexico with his wife to celebrate their one-year anniversary at Las Rocas Resort and Spa in Rosarito Beach. The resort is roughly 32 miles away from San Diego. Tragedy struck when 33-year-old Blair was found dead early in the morning on January 14th. Mexican officials said Blair was intoxicated and fell to his death from a third-floor balcony, calling the incident an unfortunate accident. But Blair's wife, Kim Williams, and his family, who have legal training in criminal law, are questioning whether it was an accident or a crime. Blair's family has hired a private investigation firm and independent forensic pathologist to conduct their own medical examination and a toxicology analysis. The original autopsy indicated that the cause of death was severe trauma to the head. When the family received the news, a toxicology report had not been completed. A GoFundMe page has been created for Blair. Both families made a statement saying, "The incident did not occur on any balcony, but at an open airway walkway in front of the front door of the room Blair and Williams were staying. At the time of the incident, Blair was not intoxicated. Blair was found in only his underwear, sleeping t-shirt, and socks." Elliot Blair had been with the Orange County Public Defender's Office since 2017.
The San Francisco District Attorney is charging the man who was caught hosing down a homeless woman with water last week. District Attorney Brooke Jenkins announced Wednesday that Kolia Grin, the owner of an art gallery on Montgomery Street, has been arrested. He is being charged with a misdemeanor battery for spraying water on a homeless woman on January 9th. Jenkins said Mr. Grin will face appropriate consequences for his actions. Likewise, the vandalism at Foster Grin Gallery is also completely unacceptable and must stop. Two wrongs do not make right. NTD reached out to Kolia Grin for comment. The Los Angeles police chief has ordered the removal of a thin blue line flag from a police station lobby. The chief says that the removal is due to alleged concerns about extremist groups co-opting the flag.
Los Angeles Police Chief Michael Moore ordered the removal of a thin blue line flag from being displayed in the lobby of the Rampart Police Station. He says a member of the public complained about the flag. In a statement given to the Epic Times, Moore says that the person believes the symbol of the flag, quote, signifies support of extremist views such as those espoused by the Proud Boys and others. According to Los Angeles Police Chief Bill Parker, the flag is generally viewed as pro-police. The term thin blue line refers to the idea that there's a thin line between law and order and anarchy. The Los Angeles Police Protective League, a union that represents officers, was among those expressing disappointment in Moore's decision. A statement given by the board of directors blames Moore for his, quote, political pandering directive regarding this decision. Moore blames extremist groups for hijacking the flag to use for their, quote, undemocratic, racist, and bigoted views. He says the flag represents honor, valor, dedication, and sacrifice of law enforcement to protect communities. But in accordance with a long-standing policy, Moore stresses that public lobbies should remain politically neutral and be an all-inclusive place where people feel safe. Some other jurisdictions and police organizations have barred the flag, including the Middletown Police Department in Connecticut. According to Moore, officers will still be allowed to display the flag in their workspaces, locker doors, and personal vehicles.
We are going to take a short break, but here's a look at what we've got for you when we come back. Microsoft is laying off more employees. It joins other tech giants who are cutting jobs in light of a looming recession. Caught red-handed in London, 9 U.S. citizens were arrested for smuggling cannabis on a flight from the Los Angeles International Airport. Got pizza love? Well, a Pizza Hut in Los Angeles is trying to break the world's record for the largest pizza. It is to celebrate a return of one of their pizzas. That and more on California Today. Welcome back to California Today. I'm your host, Lang Zhang. Microsoft is the latest tech giant to announce layoffs. As many as 10,000 people could lose their jobs, but it would only impact less than 50 people in California.
Microsoft said on Wednesday it would eliminate 10,000 jobs, or less than 5% of its workforce. It will take a $1.2 billion charge as its cloud computing customers dissect their spending, and the company braces for a potential recession.
I think this was largely expected. I think that many companies are right-sizing their staff for what's likely to be a more incrementally challenging period in demand from the macroeconomy versus the last 2 years.
The cuts would impact less than 50 jobs in California. In a blog statement, CEO Satya Nadella said, "We know this is a challenging time for each person impacted. The senior leadership team and I are committed that as we go through this process, we will do so in the most thoughtful and transparent way possible." Microsoft will still be hiring in, quote, key strategic areas.
Many of the tech companies are kind of cutting back. Revenue growth is coming in a little bit slower than expected, particularly on the cloud side. So I think for the whole industry, he has some cover to kind of, I think, pull out some of the weaker workers or pull back in some areas that are not as strategic or not, working as well as expected.
The layoff, far larger than cuts by Microsoft last year, piled on to tens of thousands of job cuts across the technology sector. That's long past its ceaseless growth during the pandemic.
The areas that typically are the last to get cut is the builders and the sellers. So the engineers and the salespeople within enterprise software, they're the last to get cut. Those are the highest on the totem pole. You could see recruiters, HR staff, people around the builders, so product people, product managers, customer support. Those are more likely the jobs that are kind of first in line to see that type of an impact or reduction, in addition to obviously contractors or professional services people as well.
Earlier this month, Salesforce said it would lay off about 10% of its workforce. Amazon also started cutting jobs last November, and Netflix cut 300 jobs last summer, but announced this week it is looking to hire a flight attendant who could be paid up to $385,000 a year.
The former president and CEO of a nonprofit agency has agreed to plead guilty to federal criminal charges. He is accused of embezzling money, misapplying grant money, and lying on his tax returns. 53-year-old Howard Dixon Slingerland has agreed to plead guilty to federal criminal charges for his time at a Hollywood-based anti-poverty nonprofit agency. The Department of Justice says that Slingerland is charged with conversion and intentional misapplication of federal funds and filing a falsified tax return. Slingerland was the president and CEO of the Youth Policy Institute, Inc., or YPI, from 1996 until he was fired in September 2019. YPI is a nonprofit agency that works to eradicate poverty in some of the highest needs neighborhoods in Los Angeles, with a comprehensive approach addressing education, health, and wellness. According to federal prosecutors, from January 2015 to February 2019, Slingerland caused at least $71,000 of organization funds to be spent on unauthorized expenditures, including his personal property tax bill that exceeded $14,000. He also spent more than $6,000 for a family dinner in New York City, approximately $11,000 for a family member's tutoring, and nearly $2,000 on a home computer and software. In July 2019, Slingerland allowed the nonprofit to spend over $400,000 in federal grant funds for unauthorized payroll payments. That same month, roughly $200,000 in federal grant money was illegally used to pay off the nonprofit's credit card bill. He further admitted to embezzlement and not reporting money he obtained from the organization to the United States Treasury. Smuggling is expected to make its initial appearance in Los Angeles federal court in the coming weeks. 9 U.S. citizens have been arrested in London for allegedly smuggling large quantities of cannabis into the country. British officials announced that the drugs were found on a flight arriving from LAX.
The British National Crime Agency, or NCA, reported last week the alleged seizures of nearly 750 pounds of cannabis. Authorities say the drugs were packed into checked luggage and flown from Los Angeles International Airport to Heathrow Airport in London, England. According to officials, 9 different United States citizens have been arrested and charged with attempting to import Class B drugs. All 9 will remain in custody pending court appearances. NCA Senior Investigating Officer Darren Bars says, quote, "We are working to understand how these seizures are connected. However, to get this many off the same route in such a short period of time is clearly very unusual. Drug couriers face stiff sentences, so I'd urge anyone considering getting involved in such ventures to think very carefully about the consequences." The first seizure of smuggled cannabis was made on January 10th, followed by another on Friday, 2 more on Saturday, 4 on Sunday, and 1 more on Monday. The value of cannabis exceeded nearly $7 million. Authorities did not release the names of the suspects.
Ready, set, dough. Pizza Hut, a beloved pizzeria, is cooking up its biggest pizza yet. It's all in an attempt to break the world's pizza record and to celebrate a return of one of their pizzas back on the menu.
Pizza Hut is attempting to break the record for the world's largest pizza. The 14,000 square feet masterpiece is taking place in Los Angeles, California. But one wonders, why did Pizza Hut decide to attempt this?
We're here at the Los Angeles Convention Center and we're breaking a world record for the world's largest pizza today. And we're doing that to celebrate the return of the Big New Yorker, which is our largest pizza. So we wanted to make the world's largest pizza to celebrate it. You know, Pizza Hut has a history of making firsts, right? We were the first to deliver a pizza. We were the first to take an order over the internet. We've always done big, exciting things. And so breaking the world record for the world's largest pizza just felt like the right thing to do to celebrate bringing back our largest pizza. So that's why we did it.
The record was last broken in 2012 by Italy, the country that created the pizza. That pizza had a surface area of around 13,600 square feet. But Pizza Hut is now looking to make a bigger pizza.
Yeah, so it's a big team, as you can see. Look at the size of it. It's a giant pizza. It's about 14,000 square feet. So if you think about that, it's going to be like 68,000 slices of pizza when we're all done.
The ingredients used include around 14,000 pounds of dough, 5,000 pounds of pizza sauce, over 9,000 pounds of cheese, and about 630,000 pepperoni slices. The pizza dough is first placed on a covering. Sauce is then painted on the dough, and to top things off, cheese and pepperonis are sprinkled on last. A cooking device will hover over the pizza to cook it to perfection.
Yeah, so the planning's been going on for a while. I mean, for multiple months we've been planning how to do it. The team really got started yesterday, and we hope to break the world record later this evening. So it's going to be about 48 hours of planning, and really you're starting to see the pizza come together now. So later this evening we'll break the world record. So we're excited about that.
The final cooked pizza will be sliced up and donated to local food banks in the Los Angeles area, so none of the food goes to waste.
As clear skies return to the Golden State, the weather provides a perfect opportunity to explore the great outdoors. Orange County locals recommend 7 spots they say offer the best scenic views.
Orange County residents recommend 7 scenic sites that are not known by many outside of locals. All of them are free and open to the public year-round. First on the list is the secret Dana Point waterfall. It only flows when it's actively raining. Another water-related spot is Hidden Tide Pool. It's surrounded by sea caves on Thousand Steps Beach. And for people looking for good picnic spots and to watch the sunset, locals recommend John Wayne Park. Treasure Island Park is another spot to retreat to for fresh air and socialization. Laguna Beach resident Dustin Raynard told the Epic Times, quote, "Me and my friends would just grab takeout and sit on the benches while watching the view." And for the more adventurous travelers, Newport Back Bay Trails offers not only trails for walking and biking, but is also home to over 200 local bird species and other protected animals. For children, Pines Park has a playground and hosts weddings during warmer months. Huntington Beach resident Alma Gutierrez told the Epic Times, quote, "My fiance proposed there 2 years ago now, and I'm so happy he chose this spot." And last but not least, Palisades Gazebo Park is near a rose garden and offers a beautiful view of the entire coastline and surrounding cityscape.
Now let's check in with NTD's Tyler Castillo for today's Sports Roundup.
I'm Tyler Castillo, taking you through the California Today Sports Roundup.
De'Aaron Fox scored 31 points and Harrison Barnes added 20 as Sacramento rallied from a slow start to extend its winning streak to 5 games with a victory at Los Angeles. Kevin Huerter scored 18 points for the Kings, who went down by 14 points in the first quarter before pushing ahead by halftime. Sacramento won without second leading scorer and leading rebounder Domantas Sabonis, who is sidelined due to an illness. LeBron James scored 32 points and Russell Westbrook added 19 as the Lakers lost for the 4th time in their past 5 games. Kings 116, Lakers 111. Lauri Markkanen returned to the lineup and lifted Utah over Los Angeles with 34 points and 12 rebounds in Salt Lake City. Markkanen, back after missing 2 games due to hip issues, hit 11 of 20 field goal attempts, 6 of 8 three-point shots, and 6 of 6 free throws. Norman Powell led the shorthanded Clippers with 30 points. Los Angeles played without Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, who were both out for rest. John Wall was out with abdominal injury, and Luke Kenner was out due to a sore calf. Jazz 126, Clippers 103.
Erik Karlsson scored the game winner midway through the third period to go with 3 assists as San Jose rallied from a 3-goal deficit to defeat visiting Dallas. James Reimer made 33 saves to pick up his 200th career victory. The 4-point game gave Karlsson 62 points for the season. He became just the 4th defenseman in NHL history to hit the 60-point mark in 46 or fewer games, joining Bobby Orr, Paul Coffey, and Dennis Potvin. Nick Bonino had a goal and an assist, and Timo Meier, Steven Lawrence, and Logan Couture also scored goals for the Sharks. Jason Robertson, Ty Dellandrea, and Radek Fakska also scored goals for Dallas. Mira Heiskanen added 2 assists, and Jake Ottinger stopped 23 shots. Sharks 5, Stars 3. And that's the Sports Roundup for today.
That's all we've got for you tonight. We'd like you to join us again on California Today every weekday at 8:30 p.m. Make sure to check out our broadcasts on our California Today webpage. You can find it at ntd.com/California-today. You can also find all of our top latest clips there, ready to share with friends and family. Send us a message on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or through our email, california.today@ntd.com. I'm Liang Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.